Hey guys, this is Rich over Marine Products. Just going through a few of the Hyperlite lineups and why you would want a beginner board to a hybrid to skim true surf style. First thing we would start with is a compression molded. Any kind of beginner board is usually going to fit or handle like a little bit heavier. So if you're picking out a board, sometimes it's deeper in the water, kind of like a wakeboard. And as you're pushing down your heels, it helps you allow it to pop right up to not have the buoyancy so high written on, and then you move over to certain styles of boards. The Landlock, and there's a few others in every brand or Hyperlite brand that also gives you that compression molded, a little bit heavier. So that's your beginner board. It usually has a 3-fin option for a thruster. And as you can maneuver over to a hybrid board, I can tell you a little bit more about why that is. Now we're moving into the hybrid options. There is quite a few that every brand makes of the hybrids, but the shim is probably one of the best as far as overall hybrids. Again, 3-fin options. As you're moving into a carbon netting board, anything with carbon usually glides a little bit quicker, adds a little more response time. It also has a little bit more buoyancy, so as you're keeping up into the pocket, it allows that, whereas a compression molded sits a little bit deeper in the water. Still giving, some of them give you a full traction pad, but a hybrid board is simply, you're having 2 fins for that true surf style, and then you're having that 1 fin if you want to try to break free. And general rule of thumb is usually the bigger the wave, the smaller the board, and the smaller the wave, the bigger the board. But with hybrid options, gives you that nice crisp edge like a skim, gives you a nice true surf edge, like a thicker rollover edge for those deeper, wider turns. So that's why they kind of call them an in-between or a hybrid board. There's a lot in the lineup, but the shim is probably one of the best go-to all-around have on the boat specials. This would be a true surf option. There is quite a few again in the Hyperlite lineup, but with the true surf, it usually is ridden with 2 to 4 fins, as you have 2 nubbies, 2 longer ones, thicker rolled over edge for deeper, wider carves. You're also doing airs, transfers. The reason why people would want a true surf is because usually a thicker, wider tail usually gives you a lot more push opposed to a lot of the hybrid lineups. You're also able to ride to the top of the wave and kind of kick the tail out. Some of the fin options, when you have asymmetrical fins, give you a nice push and nice pull when you're on a deeper, wider cut and a turn, and the nubbies just allow it to break free if you wanted to ride it with just the 2 nubbies. Plus, some of the ones are able to tool in, some are able just to come right out and then pop right in. So Hyperlite did that with their Wingman, the Wingman Junior, and their Droids. So with these are just really cool option for having a true surf. But again, asymmetrical fins compared to symmetrical, those are minute differences. But again, you want to go with a smaller true surf style if you're really able to carve those deeper, wider turns, do airs, do transfers to the other side. The waves just keep getting bigger and bigger, and true surf is not something that I would put all beginners on, but as you're moving up to surf, if you're looking for something between these or some of the varial options, you could go up a lot more money in these, but well worth it. There's a lot of skimmers on the market nowadays. The Hyperlite version of it is the Hi-Fi. It doesn't have any carbon fiber going on, which you'll notice on that because they want to keep the price point down. But they do have a 3-fin option, which you typically don't see on a lot of skimmers. They just, for versatility, they like to have many options of fins on some of these boards. So typically a true skim will usually just have the 1 fin because you're allowing it to break free. It releases really nice and easy. Not too much carving, but again, you can do your 360s, you know, pop shove-its, all that good stuff. Usually has a really crisp edge. Plus, some of the boards are really durable, which this one has Durashell, so you can really beat on it. But again, you want to keep yours in a bag, surf sock, anything like that, anything protected against the sun and durability. But skim style just typically has like that, you know, some are a little bit wider in the profile, so some you can put the 360 on, kind of ease on the brakes, and then some skim style have a little bit narrow in the belly and narrow in the pintail, so it allows you to keep going. So minute differences between the skimmers, but Noah Flegel's Hi-Fi comes in a 53 and a 56, and they did a really good job with the graphics and everything on this board too. They did dumb down kind of a lot of these categories too to a junior model. They make some junior skims, they make some junior compression moldeds, but usually the good days in the shim come a 3.9. That's pretty generic. 3.9 to 3.11 is usually the sizes for juniors. The hybrid option, the good days, or the shims, comes still with that 3-fin option, kind of a crisp edge, kind of a rolled over edge. They also did a full traction pad for a lot of juniors trying to figure out where their stance is. And you typically, if you're facing the wave, you usually want your toes towards the end of the board compared to in the middle, so stance and form is a lot of minute details to surfing. But then they made, for new for this year, the Wingman Junior, which again gives you symmetrical fins. They didn't want to go asymmetrical on it as you're moving to a true surf with the juniors, but again has that thicker rolled over edge, has a nice full traction pad, but it gives the kid the version to do that air transfer to the other side, even with or without the rope. We were talking about the 5 top picks of the lineup from a beginner board in the Hyperlite lineup all the way to advanced. Feel free to come in the store or shoot a text, email, whatever you need. We're always here for you, so check them out on the site or come in the store for us.